Well, good morning. It's the 28th of August. John here, Southern California, city of Temecula. It's going to be a hot one today. Heat wave, 106. It's just about 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to get some work done. So today I'm going to try to start working on a little paint correction on this car, 1992 Mercedes-Benz 300E W124. And as you can see, it's got clear coat failure on this fender, and you can see how dull this is. And on this isn't peeling yet. So I'm just going to be respraying this. I already did the trunk. It's all dirty and stuff right now, but it's a single stage paint. So I'm going to be painting this fender, that fender, and then this roof part right here. Isn't that weird? It's got water in the bubble. So I'm just going to go from here down to here. Single stage paint. It's only part of the car that's doing it is right here. I don't know what happened, but I think it was paint prep. Whoever repainted this back, who knows, 15, 20 years ago. They did a two-stage paint, base coat, then clear coat. And they must have taken a break or something and waited too long to paint the clear coat on it. That's the only thing I can think of, the only reason that it comes off, because usually you've got to lay your base coat down, and within 15 to 30 minutes, 30 minutes is pushing it, but 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then you lay your clear down so that the clear has a chance to bond to the base coat. Because if you wait too long, like say you went to go spray the clear the next day, stuff like this will happen because the base coat will be dry and the paint won't stick to it. So anyways, that's what I'm going to be working on. God, a noise factory. Little dogs bark. Okay, so here's another thing I thought of. This thing might have been hit in the rear, you know. When we got the car, the trunk was sticking about this high up, you know, on the back. I had to go in the back and adjust the hinges, which was a pain in the butt to get to the adjustments of the hinges on these. Good gosh, little yapping dogs. Oh my God. Hard to think. Give the dog a bone. Yeah, one thing I did notice, really strange. See that right there? Right down in here? There's a crack there. It looks like a seam or something. Let's see if I can. I gotta pull this carpeting out. I gotta pull the antenna out. Man, this is stiff stuff. You know, just right along there. I think it's a seam, but you know, if it got hit in the back, we'll take this off, inspect it some more. I didn't see any real damage in the back, like, you know, like it's had a bunch of body work, but you never know. My son and wife bought this car off eBay when I was at work. That was years ago, 10 years ago or more. And it had right here, I've repaired this once. I put rust repair on here, but it's coming through, and there's a seam right here. and there's a seam right here, and this is normal. I think this is where either the panels are welded together there, or it's a drain for the water. It runs along here. I don't know. You know, I don't think so. I think it's just where they welded it. But anyways, I'm gonna take the antenna off so I don't have to deal with this grommet and taping around it. Always looks like hell. So I just got to take this off. Yeah, so I got that piece off. And I don't know, what's this all about? There's my wife again, never ending. Yeah, there's a little bit of rust going on down here. See where water has been collecting down here. There's some rust there. So this trunk has always been kind of a wet trunk. So this is like, I think this is like a telephone back in the day. If you had the telephone. All kinds of stuff going on down here. What's this? Electrical wire. I don't know, maybe a license plate light, who knows. Right here is there's a little flap in there. See that? I think there's one on both sides. And I believe that that's there for when you go to close your door. All the air pressure inside, when you go to close it, it compresses the air pressure, and this releases it. You know, sometimes you go to shut a car door and you have to do it 2-3 times because or you got to do it really hard. That's because all that air pressure inside the cabin has to go somewhere, and this is where it goes out. Anyways, yeah, so here right here is a drain. And that's I believe it's a roof drain. That hose probably goes either here or sunroof, one of those places. Anyway, so I need to take this thing apart here. And it looks like, what's this? God, it's so old. Oh. There's some water drains on either side, and there's one big one right here. At one time, I lifted this up and looked at the spare, and the entire thing was covered with that much water. What's that? Don't know what that is. So I took the plug out, which is somewhere, I don't know, I have it in here. It's just a plug like this. I took the plug out and drained it and just left it off because the seals are not that good. I mean, they feel okay, but I was getting a lot of water in the trunk, and I think it's from coming down here and somehow working its way through the back of this, and there's always water in here. You can see it's been my son when he was in a band. This is where I was dragging all of his amplifiers and everything in. And I had to make these little gaskets up. You can buy all these brand new. They even sell them on Amazon. But yeah, and there's your spring. There's the antenna. It looks like there's 8 millimeter, maybe a ground. Hirschman antenna. And you got your speakers, and there's your gas tank right there. Look at that. That's a shock absorber. I don't know what happened there. Some clown, you know. When you buy stuff off of eBay, you just never know. And it came from a private dealer in Malibu who sells things out of his driveway. I didn't find a business card in here, and it belonged to some woman, some girl who was a wildlife photographer, and this was her 4x4. She'd go out and take pictures of things, bugs, who knows, trees. You can see the rust right here. I don't think I can really do too much about that. I don't know if it looks like it's been hit. Or if it's just a rusty car in the back. I haven't found any rust anywhere else. Anyways, we'll clean all this up. So let's, I guess we're gonna take off this captive nut right here. Oh, it's already loose. Yeah, it makes my job so much easier. You know, I try to do a good job, but you know, I just want to get paint on there, keep it from rusting and stuff like that. And that if we ever go to sell it, it won't have a nasty back end, a badass. God, dogs. Yeah. Okay. All right. This side, I don't think I need to take off. There's nothing I really need to take off, but I'm thinking if I should take these off. I've had them off before. You can see the rust right here. It's coming back. It was, what, 2 years ago that I repainted this whole thing, and I repainted the whole trunk. It was a huge pain. This part, separate part, comes off. I kind of glued this thing together because it's cracked. They want about $100 now for one of these little black strips. Isn't that nice? But yeah, this is all single stage white. Easy, it can be you know, sanded and buffed. But I'm just leaving paint on it. There's brutal temperatures here, 106 degrees for the next couple days. It's hard to work. You know, massive grounds. I probably put those splices, those blue splices, I can tell my work. Probably hunting down some electrical problem. I know they had done a lot of work on installing some kind of a stereo in here, and there's still like all kinds of monster cables under the carpeting, and I've tried to get rid of a lot of it, but you know, just okay, there's the grounds. Okay, and then these. Yeah, then there's that one nut, then there's this 13 millimeter. Okay, good. Save all your bits and pieces. Wow, that was easy. Wonder if this is aftermarket. I don't remember. Might have been broken. Usually all these break. You can kind of see. I think I can still reuse that. Yeah, then we've got these connections. So this weird cable, it goes like who knows where. It's the antenna. You know? It's the antenna wire. I wonder why it... So, yeah. And then you just got electrical connectors, a couple, if anybody wants to know how to. And these, this looks like it pinches out. You think it'd pinch in, but see how it's got those little, so kind of clear, get it to clear a little bit. And it's got a little tiny one I gotta do. Get it to come out. This one, what is that? Amplifier? Okay, come on out. There. All right. Now, I've got this awesome antenna radio Hirschman. Unusual looking, that's for sure. All right, then you end up with a nice place that I can sand. Yeah, so just some water sponge, some 320, and wet sand. A couple hours later, I got this whole fender sanded. Got the clear coat off pretty much. Have to sand some more here. Got it all the way down here. All the way to right here. I need to rinse it off and scope it out. I got this piece off, which is so weird. You can see a little bit of rust, you know. It's a California car, but so that's what holds it on. There's this piece here. It's made out of plastic. I didn't know it came off, but it does come off. So just hooks onto this hook here and then goes like that. It's nice that it came off. Maybe it's not. Let's see if it's what it's made out of. Yeah, it's not metallic. It's heavy though. Huh? Well, it's 96 degrees at 7:20 p.m. Isn't that nice? At least the sun's down. So I got the other side sanded pretty good. I'll let it dry. I just washed it off a little bit. Let it dry. See the spots that I missed. Look for shiny spots. This part was glued on here, so this thing broke right there. Next, I'm gonna pull these tail lights out. It's not too hard. It's just a bunch of screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll pull these out and then tape these off with plastic. Yeah, there's, let's see. Just undo the electrical connection and get the bulbs out. A little tab up here. Then pull it out, try not to rip the gasket. Now we've got room to sand around the edges. All right, next day. Today is supposed to be the hottest day. I don't know. Anyways, working, I don't know, time, yeah, almost 10. So I'm just using my dandy steam cleaner and cleaning out all these cracks with all the dirt, stuff that can come out and get into the paint. Let's do this. A little robot. So stuff like this. Anyways, I want to clean everything really good before I mask it off. I want it spotless. Come on. Good for getting all the wax and stuff at the bottom of the rubber. Plus it makes cool sounds. Yeah, look at all that. Got everything sanded here. And get a garden hose and get the rest of it off. That bumper really needs to be painted. Oh, darn it. Even got in here pretty good. Yeah, might as well clean in here. I got it all clean in there the best I could. Took this plug out. I'm getting closer. Pretty tacky, but I'm just trying to use what I got. Just a lot of tape. It's time consuming. It's almost ready for primer. I got the primer over here. I got to test my guns and clean them and stuff like that, but I got to tape the other side too. All right, it's gonna be 105 again. Yay! Anyway, so this is from TC Global. I'll put a link to this stuff. This is what I used on the van. And I did I took everything off the bottom, all the plastic bumpers, everything. There were 10 panels in all. I bought this, I think it's still, yeah, it's still viable. It doesn't harden up because you have to add hardener. This is single stage paint. Right there. 1 gallon. This, I think this was either 150 or 250 for this gallon, which is expensive, but it's cheap compared to like PPG paint. You know, it'll be $750 for a gallon of paint and higher. And then you've got reducer, urethane, hardener. It's urethane, so I picked urethane because the bumpers were on the Kia, everything was plastic, you know. But it also works on, you know, metal. Then you got the hardener, and then they tell you in the spec sheet or on the directions, which are really hard to read because they're so small, but you can get all the stuff online. What is it, the tech sheet or something? And then you get these, and like the primer sealer right here. I think there's about, it feels like maybe there's about that much in there. I think that's enough, because once you add the hardener, the level will go up to, you know, like maybe half. And this is 1-to-1 mix. So you got 1 ounce of primer up to this line, and then you add up to this line the hardener. So if you had, say, you had 5 ounces of primer, then when you fill it up to that, and then for the hardener you fill it all the way up to 5. I know it's kind of sketchy, but I think what is my paint? The paint is a little different. It's yeah, it's 4-to-1 on the paint, so 4-to-1. I got this 4-to-1, so say you put it up to the 4 mark, and then the hardener, you put it up to this 4 mark, 4, 4, and whatever else is 4, so it just goes. I know it's confusing, but you got to learn this, how to mix it, or else it's going to come out really screwy. There's so many different. Yeah, this is the company that I got the paint from. I looked it up. I think it's about $250 for that gallon that comes with the hardener. But I bought it like 4 years ago, you know, so it's still good. It's not hardened. It lasts a long time. Unlike regular paint that's pre-mixed, you open it once, and you use a little bit of it, you come back a year later, it's all hard. So hopefully it'll be cooler today. It's dropping. It's only going to be 95. And then it's going to be on Saturday 80 degrees, and that's almost too cold. It's going to be a little overcast too. I don't know. They said maybe sprinkles, but I don't think so. And I just got this gun together here. It's just it's got a filter. It's got a regulator for the pressure. It's got all these fun knobs. It's all cleaned out. And this one is a real piece of crap. But I did manage to paint the trunk a year and a half ago with it. This is just gonna be for the primer. And it's okay if you use a crappy gun for the primer, but I got this one here. Harbor Freight, I think it was like 16 bucks. Yeah, it's just masking it off, you know? It just takes forever. So I just gotta paint this part right here. Finish taping that off a little bit. And the sun, the heat, 100-degree temperatures kind of made the tape come up in certain spots, so gotta deal with that. Whatever, right? It just comes up. Crappy tape. This tape's better. Got everything here ready to spray. I just gotta mask this area off here. See this tape? Cheap tape. Buy the expensive tape if you can. I just gotta put some plastic right here. And then I'm ready. Rub all this down with some rubbing alcohol. It's real cheap. All right, I'm just rubbing it down with, I first did the Windex, now I'm using rubbing alcohol. Well, got a couple coats on, a little bit of globs, the needle was leaking. That's okay, we can sand it, it's just primer. You'd see it was just like leaking. So I got a couple coats on it right now. I've got this much left in the cup. Let this set up for about 5 minutes, and then we'll put another one on there. And that'll be done. At least we got enough, and if I need any more for little spots that sand through, I just got some primer here. Oh my God. right, it's Thursday, 5 p.m. So I sanded down all the primer. I went over the spots that needed a little bit more. Had to sand through the primer to the paint. On this side, so far it's pretty smooth. It was definitely a mess sanding it. I might have to redo some of this tape right here. I blew it all off with the air compressor and rag. You know, it's going to be real hard not to get stuff into the paint, but you know, you're outside. So, yeah. Hopefully it'll come out halfway decent. Yeah, that is going to be a wreck. Right, now it's 7 o'clock Thursday. Got everything kind of cleaned up here. I checked to make sure the paint was good. It's good. I took this gun all apart, set it up. The Purple Monster. Got an air gauge, got a new water filter. I got my little spray pattern there, and I put on a drawing of the thing to know which screw is for the pattern, which screw is for how much fluid's going through the gun, and which screw is how much air is going through the gun. All those three have to be adjusted to a nice, nice pattern. Because once you're doing it, if you don't do it all the time, you forget. You're like sitting there going, what's this one doing? It's all screwed up. So, yeah. Got the little pop-up here from Lowe's. I think this might be its last job. Clouds, yeah. I don't think it's gonna rain. It'd be my luck if it did. Oh, nice sunset. Very nice. Okay, I'm done for the night. I'm gonna have a nice cold one. So things you've got to look at least I try to figure out, okay, in the morning. Let's get over right here. So this was today. Wind right now is 5 miles an hour. You want it 0 miles an hour. So right now it's what, 8 o'clock at night, or right about here, the wind's winding down. So this is not a good time to paint right here. So 6 a.m., looks like about 6, maybe 7 a.m., between 7 and 8 is the window to paint. And then you got to, look at your humidity. So your humidity is at 50%. Friday, Labor Day weekend. I got my pop-up up. And it's kind of falling apart. A lot of these plastic joints are breaking. So I put a piece of PVC there with some wire. There was dew on the, on the top of the car. Hope that didn't soften the tape up too bad. I had a cover over it, so it's, Anyways, let's look. It's 10 after 7. I got up at 5. So that's not good. 81%. The wind is 2 miles an hour supposedly. So wind is really going to drop down right at 8 o'clock maybe. Then it starts climbing. Yeah. Currently 2 miles an hour. Let's look at those trees. Those palm trees are a really good indicator right there. So it's good. All I got left is just to wipe it all down, get all the grease off. All right, let's do the paint. So waiting to put one more coat on. The reason you have to wait like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, it's called flash time. There's solvent, you know, in the paint, right? The hardener and all that stuff. It's all solvents, you know, thinners too. And that stuff has to evaporate. You spray it and that stuff evaporates. Okay? And once it evaporates, you spray another coat when it's still wet, but the solvents has evaporated. If you don't, you end up with, like, you know, really wet paint and runs. So that's what I learned. Took exactly an hour. 9 o'clock. Told my wife I'd be done at 9. I got to take her to the doctor. So we got 4 coats on there. One little run along the bottom strip and about right there. That's okay, we can razor blade that and buff it out. Okay, here's a tech sheet on the paint. Each manufacturer should have this. You search clear urethane, and this is the hardener. They have all different types of hardeners and shit, or stuff. Single stage, yeah. Mixing ratio 4:1. So a pot life, that's, you can have it in that cup, you know, for 2.5 hours before it starts hardening completely, I guess. Epoxy primer, surface preparation, blah, 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 blah. Spray 2 to 3 medium wet coats. I did 4. So air dry at 77 degrees right now. It's 75. So it's tack free in 2 hours. To tape, I don't know what that means. 6 hours, maybe that's, I don't know what that means. To remove the tape. To recoat, 16 hours. There's optional clear coat that you can also buy for single stage paint for the wet look appearance. And they gravity feed the gun setups with, you know, different size tips. Mine was a 1 point gravity feed, 1.4, close enough. HVLP, all these different guns, air pressure, gravity feed, which is what I have, 35 to 45. I was right about there. Yeah, about 45 to 50. Yeah, so that's it. So make sure you get one of these and then read it before you buy the paint, so you kind of know what you're getting into. All right. Now 11 o'clock. I took most of the plastic sheeting off so the wind doesn't make it go blowing everywhere. This afternoon it'll get 25 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour. Yeah, there's some runs right here. Right here. I don't see any on the roof. It's gonna need color sanding a little bit. Yeah, a little dust from taking the plastic off. That'll all come off. You know, a little lacquer thinner will take all this stuff off. Gotta expect that. Other side, yeah. A little bit of runs right here at the bottom, but that's good. It's not like right there.
And many of these lightning
It's a good thing I got it painted this morning. It's dry.
Once we head in towards the Coachella Valley, where they are not looking at the thunderstorm activity.
I mean, %50 of rain. Yeah, it's all dry. Took all the plastic off everything. Thank God. Oh my God. Timing. Yeah. It decided to rain at 5 p.m. Painted it this morning. Good Lord. At least, I don't know. I'm glad I painted it, I guess. I would have waited till tomorrow. It's supposed to rain more tomorrow, I guess. Unexpected. Yeah, one thing I forgot to say, I'll add, that I learned, how long should you wait to color sand? At least with this single stage paint, you know, I waited about 4 days. This is the 5th day. Some people do it the next day. You know, the longer you wait, the harder the paint gets and the harder it is to color sand, right? So right about 4 days, I figure, is a good, you know, with as many coats as I have on there. It's still soft. It's like right in the middle, you know. So they're supposed to tell you in the tech sheet, the TDS sheets, but mine didn't say anything about it, unless I'm reading it wrong. But yeah, you want to, you know, you don't want to wait a month. Depends what kind of paint you're using too, but I've used this paint before. Like when I painted the trunk a year and a half ago, I started doing it, I think on the 2nd day, right? I don't have as much paint on there. I only had 2 coats because I had a really crummy gun from Lowe's that just splattered everywhere. It made runs everywhere. It was horrible. But that purple gun, yeah, you know, I posted it up on the Facebook group. You know, I don't know, it's professional painters and novices and stuff. And, you know, God, hundreds of people are saying, I love that gun. I just buy them, use them, and throw them away. They work great the first time. And then you can just use it for primer, but for, are you kidding, under $20? You know, because some of these professional guys, if I was a professional painter, you know, yeah, I'd spend $3,000 on a really good gun that atomizes everything perfectly, you know, that doesn't spit paint out, you know, especially with like clears and stuff. You need really good equipment. But for, like I say, an outdoor job, you know, that you know that there's dirt, stuff is going to fly into it because it's outside. You know, I had no wind, but still, you know, just stepping on the ground, you're going to, you know, have stuff coming up into the paint. Okay. All right. Finally done. I have one little area right there that I've got to touch up with some paint. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Yeah, so it's looking a lot better. It's real smooth. Could have done a better job, but you know what? For what it is, it's fine. We had all this peeling paint over here. We don't have that anymore. And we got this side here all done. I wish I had a really good orbital buffer, wet dry buffer that I could use. That'd make the job a lot easier. It's some 3M compound to really cut it. But anyways, this is John. I'm done on this part of the project. So hopefully I got most of the exterior of this car restored to where it looks fairly decent. So I'll see you guys next time. Later.